live right now. So yeah, Miguel, your
Whatever
turn.
works.
Yes, everything is worse. Miguel, the stage is yours. Go ahead.
So we'd like to, well, first of all, on behalf of the Future is Now Media Group, to thank, of course, the organizers for creating Digital Week online. It's a great idea to support the movement of the disruptive tech industry, which is taking people, communities, and evidently innovators online during this COVID-19 situation. And I'd like to speak today dwell deep into the rabbit hole of the importance of decentralized media when it comes to future human evolution. Because to be quite honest with you, with the COVID-19 situation, we've seen an incredible push against just free narrative, or a narrative that doesn't fit with the status quo, whatever that may be. A lot of decentralized media, I'm talking about dollar vigilante Jeff Berwick, who has been a Bitcoin maximalist and a contributor to the Bitcoin movement and crypto overall, who we've met with in Lieberland on Lieberland's third anniversary, I believe, in Serbia in 2018. People like Crypto Zombie YouTube channel, who've been shadow banned, and users were unable to subscribe, just for simply either sharing information in regards to Bitcoin and the halvening, or sharing information in regards to the current economic situation and the roots of the COVID pandemic. And so a lot of that has sort of trickled me to really drive forward as a part of the YouTube community, as a part of decentralized media community, with our decentralized media portal, the Future is Now .community, and our two visual products, which is the Future is Now film series, documentary film series, which has kind of been halted because of this whole COVID-19 thing, as we used to travel the world and bring the viewer right deep into the mix of these awesome conferences. And the Future is Now Digest, which is now our sort of on the go, one-on-one interview format, which happens virtually. And here with the Digital Week Online, we decided to partner up and create an after film that will combine the recorded footage from this week's conference with some of the roaming crypto anarchist footage that we have throughout the 3 years that we've been traveling the world and covering all kinds of conferences, from Hong Kong to Ibiza to San Francisco, and bringing that in a new format as a B2B after film and a marketing product for our viewers. And for those who don't really know what this product is, and what we've been doing is essentially we've been creating a narrative that we are trying to propel for the development of the blockchain, AI, and disruptive fintech industries. And I would like to quickly put on and go through a presentation here. Let me see if I can share screen it really quick. Let's see, I'm going to start. Okay, so it says that my share screening is disabled by the host.
Wait a second.
Yes, I think you need to enable my
Is it enabled now?
Let's try. Yep.
Perfect.
Okay. So let's see how well this, what can you see now?
The future is now. We see it, all the future is now in the field series. Everything is perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. So let's start with just some of the basics of the concept. And the concept behind our visual marketing and visual scaling product, which is The Future Is Now film series, is about emotions and feelings, and that these are the connecting tools between people, concepts, communities, industries, and we've been pushing that decentrally after actually working for a centralized media source. And it started, with people like Larry King that we've met at Toronto's Blockchain Futurist conference in 2018, who, gave us great allegories and analogies on the importance of being on the right side of technological advancement and being on the right side of technology and where it's going. With things like, why do we have war? He said, the war is dumb. We have our tabloid stories, the Trumps, the Hollywood celebrities, who she slept with, and all that's fine, but we have to look to better things in life. And this is Larry King visiting his first blockchain conference in Toronto in 2018, the famous journalist, and beyond. And these are the kind of stories that we try to bring forth, because it's all about the problem, reaction, and solution. And even though this presentation is fairly old, it's at least a year old, but it totally fits with what we're seeing with COVID and what we're seeing with the current media techniques, if you will, mainstream media techniques. It's always a problem, there's a reaction, and there's a solution, right? So when we were creating our decentralized media group and its visual products, we always considered the fact that why should someone no different than you and I be in control of our destiny? How do we break the dogma of this matrix? And for us, it was decentralization, obviously. It was the concept of creating an equal opportunity viewpoint vehicle that is not created by the likes of Vice News or by the likes of Netflix, or all these mediums that always try to win you over with the hype, the negative hype, either that Bitcoin is a scam, you should be afraid of Bitcoin, you should be afraid of blockchain, right? Because that's what the mainstream news source is brainwashing us with. And now we're seeing a small break with decentralized blockchain technologies kind of creeping into the government, era, if you will, right? And this is of course quite visible indeed. John McAfee in 2018 at the Malta Blockchain Summit said that in 5 years' time, everyone on this planet will be using cryptocurrency, and those who don't are the people who don't have access to the internet. Little did we know back then that we would be coerced into giving up that technology to the centralized banking sources. Now we have the US digital dollar coming into play. We have the European, the Bank of France, just finished hiring, by the way. It was up until May 20th. For about a month, they had a petition on the website asking people to come on board of the Bank of France to create the digital franc, right? So centralized bodies and centralized banks are looking for ways to benefit from the development of these technologies that we've been creating for so long here in the space. Vicente Fox, former president of Mexico, from our episode at the forum in the Blockchain Economic Forum in Singapore, said this technology has revolutionized his understanding of the banking world, the financial world, that we must deregulate. We must support this technology as a way for great social ventures and eradication of poverty, really. Guy Kawasaki, another interesting cat that we've had the opportunity to speak to, one of the first evangelists of the Macintosh computer. He completely does not believe in crypto. He says, if I build a phone, I create value. Speaking about the Apple phone, I get paid for that value. What do I do here? I take my crypto to the bank? That is bullshit. And that was exact words that he used. And this is, of course, interesting because we are trying to bring different views and different polemics here into the world of disruptive tech and its future progress. Miko Matsumura, founder of Evercoin Exchange at the Multi-ABC Summit 2019, said, right now it's interesting, and this completely makes sense as we see this onslaught of centralized powers trying to grab the blockchain industry and grab the crypto minds into their grasp right now. Miko said this about a year ago, that they're measuring the trust in Bitcoin, these institutionals. The fact that it's rising means that these institutionals don't trust the governments, not as much as they do Bitcoin. And it's a fear-driven aspect where the professionals are trying to find a safe harbor. They're looking at digital gold as maybe just one sort of Sharpe ratio-based asset exposure. And a small chunk of that, when you look at the global fortunes of the world, can actually move the needle in the price of Bitcoin and create the next bull run. And we see the proof of these words that Miko said a year ago with, for example, Paul Tudor recently announcing his coming into the crypto world.
Miguel, please, a little bit accelerate. We have a couple of minutes left.
Yeah, we have a couple of minutes, unfortunately.
Really? I thought we had 20 minutes for this.
15, I'm sorry, 15.
Yeah, 15.
Okay, well, so it goes beyond fear and confusion. Cambridge Associates did give the go-ahead very quietly. This was around last summer, right, where one of the biggest institutional investment authorities on the inside essentially gave the go-ahead to move 30 points into Bitcoin for many different institutions, like the top family offices, to finally go into Bitcoin. And again, these are some of the things that we bring to the forefront for analysis in our educative B2B after films in regards to the industry. And it's interesting because email didn't ask for the post office for permission. Email just arrived and knocked the post office out of the league, with email, because it was just that much faster than the post. This is the same thing that we're witnessing with blockchain technology. It is heavily making its way with Microsoft adopting blockchains, with IBM, with all these sort of controlling corporations adopting this technology. And that's the predicament that we have now. It came from two guys and a dog, as Tim Draper once pointed out to us, sitting in a garage trying to figure out how to make the world better, right? And giving that embetterment room is very important. But again, right now we're at a crossroads where there is no guarantee that these two guys and a dog and their technology are going to be used for an actual embetterment of society, freedom enabling technology that is going to be uncensored, decentralized, and truly unique. And right now we're doing what we can, all of us, right? Because like some very experienced thought leaders in the space, like Carla Marie Vella, believe that it's all about marketing, right? It's pure and truly marketing for mass adoption. Reach the people, and there will be mass adoption. We saw a spark of that with Libra. Right now, we're continuing a spark of that as a hedge against the S&P 500, with the crypto market sort of on the rise. And again, it's all about actually building these technologies instead of talking about them. So that's why it's very important also to focus on actually developing the tech. And we're going to disrupt the systems, and we each have to contribute. This is important, but we all have to remember that we cannot sell our souls to these centralized corporate entities right now. Otherwise, this whole dream, this whole space is going to diminish in the next 2 years. I can guarantee you that. Michael Turpin pointed out a great fact just about half a year ago. They said the internet will never work. In 1995, 24 years ago, Newsweek wrote a piece saying how the internet was a joke and no one is going to use it to redefine a publication like Newsweek on a computer. Yet Newsweek print edition is out of business for many years now, and there's 4 billion people on the internet. They said no one will trust the internet with their financials. So when the credit card companies fixed the security issues with card payments, that was done. They said no one can do anything. Google fixed that. People can search and find everything now. They said you don't know anyone. Well, Facebook fixed that. Bill Gates once said people and companies overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade. The industry is in that place, but the one important factor that Bill Gates missed is that this industry aims to be decentralized. And that's where the locus of control currently, I believe, is based on a lie. This is something we've gathered from Brandon Sint, the founder of Skycoin, that we're going to have to change the locus of control from corporations like Google, Yahoo, YouTube, and Twitter. And the focus is going to shift from these centralized corporations back down to the community and to individual level, as we see with BitChute, Library, Voice, other blockchain-enabled social media networks and video hosting networks that can fight that censorship that we're actually going through now. And this is going to be disruptive, but Sint believes that it's going to lead to almost a civil war, because there's going to be no peaceful transition to this without violence. And we're seeing that again being proven 6 months down the line, actually maybe a little more now, with COVID-19, right? Creating this upheaval of censorship, this upheaval of controlling mechanisms popping out, like Mi Pasa, like ID 2020, using blockchain, IBM sponsoring these things, Microsoft sponsoring these things, centralized.
Yeah, Miguel, I'm so sorry, so we have to wrap up.
I'm almost done. So why are you playing this game is the main question, right? It's all about how you choose to play the game. What are the reasons you're doing this? To make a quick buck, or to leave a world for your children that will be better than the one you founded as you grew into an adult? We're evolving with technologies at hand, and this is the cyberlution. This is the future, and the future is now. And this is what we do as the Future Is Now Media and Consulting Group, where we try to create exclusive media. We try to share that media and spread that through our marketing campaigns for our partners and clients. And also we try to work on strategy and consulting with those that need, and that stay true to this goal of truly decentralizing and spreading that technology, that magical seed, into this field of magical technologies that Bitcoin has given way to. An important thing right now, we truly believe here at the Future Is Now, is to stay decentralized, is not to sell your soul, but to work together, support one another, and create a better future so we can explore space, so we can clean the oceans, and so we can actually use the technology to truly better the human lives. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you, Miguel.
Really appreciate it, yeah.